looking, firing, intercepted, picked up by Cooper DeJean, gets a block, snap it, and it's Trey Burton who throws caught. Foles going for it all into the end zone, and it is caught. Hurts going deep, for it all, Devontae Smith, he has got it.
Welcome back, people, to another exciting episode of AJ's Birds, where your boy brings you fresh Philadelphia Eagles news, especially on the off days, and your boy is off today. So I'm here to talk about my Birds for a split second. I'm not going to be before you guys long today. It hasn't been a ton that's happened, but it's been enough that's happened for me to discuss and for me to talk about. So again, welcome back to AJ's Birds. I'm not going to waste no time. First thing I want to bring up, man, I'll be remiss to not bring this up. Like I said, this is old news, but I haven't talked about this on the show yet. I want to say thank you to one of my favorite Philadelphia players ever. One of my favorite players ever, Mr. Big Play Slay. Now, if you've been an Eagles fan, for as long as I've been an Eagles fan, you know the Eagles secondary was terrible before Slay came. I mean, it was abysmal. One of the worst secondaries in the league, and he immediately came to the team, boosted the team secondary. First year was a little tough for Slay, but after that, man, Slay was an ace in our secondary. Slay was that dude. I got the highlights up right here on the screen. I mean, the stuff that Slay used to do on the field, man, for us, I thought he had an all-pro caliber run with us, both in 2022 in the playoffs and in 2024 in order to help us to secure our second Super Bowl. Like I said, man, Slay was it. Slay was it, man. So happy retirement to him. You know what I mean? I think he finished, let me pull up these numbers real quick. I think he finished with somewhere around 6 Pro Bowl selections, multiple first-team All-Pro selections, 13-year vet. Obviously, he played with us. He played with the Detroit Lions, but we just remember for the time he spent with us. I just remember from the time he spent with us. You know what I'm saying? 28 total interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles. I mean, Slay was that dog. Slay was that dude, man. So I want to give a shout out to Slay, man. Thank you for all your time you spent out here in Philly, man. Everything you contributed to the team, helping us secure a Super Bowl, helping us get to a Super Bowl 2 times in 3 years. He helped us get to a Super Bowl and really solidify our secondary. Both years, he was balling out of control. We went to the Super Bowl. Both years we had in my opinion, last year we had the best secondary in the game. I know in 2022 we had the best secondary in the game. Back when he was all pro, Bradbury was all pro. You know what I'm saying? We still had CJ, Like that secondary was ridiculous as well, combined with that defensive line. So I just want to give a shout out to Slay before I even get started. Second thing I want to quickly bring up, obviously, you still got the AJ Brown news swirling and stuff like that. I don't know what to say, y'all. That stuff is what it is. I've already come out and said how I feel about it, my opinions on it. If you don't want to be here as a fan, I don't want you to be here. That's just me. Love and respect AJ Brown, everything he's contributed to the Philadelphia Eagles. I think AJ is the greatest Philadelphia Eagles receiver of all time. Not the best. Before people jump in the comment section talking about what about T.O. and what about all these other guys who played. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm talking about greatest as far as things he's accomplished in the Philadelphia Eagles uniform. I think he's the greatest. You know what I mean? And so I appreciate everything he's done for the Eagles, but it's been too much. It's been too many things swirling for a little bit too long. You know what I mean? At this point, you don't know what's true and what's not. And he's not saying enough to clarify anything. So it's just like, if you want to be here, make it clear you want to be here. If not, it just is what it is. Now I'm hearing reports that, obviously Howie Roseman ain't stupid. We all know this. Howie Roseman not going to trade him before June 1st, clearly, because that cap hit is like upwards of $40-something million. And if you're trying to compete for a Super Bowl, you're not going to trade A.J. Brown and take a cap hit of $40+ million. You're just not going to do that. It leaves you no flexibility to make any moves. So now it's like, all right, do you have an under-the-table deal in place with the New England Patriots? Right? Is there a deal in place with the Patriots after June 1st where he gets traded? I think we will know on draft day what it is with A.J. Brown, because none of the moves that have been made so far tell me enough that says A.J. Brown is out of the building. Now, they say since we re-signed Dallas Goedert, we couldn't re-sign Dallas Goedert and keep A.J. Brown. That's what they say. That's what they say. We know Howie Roseman has done things that people didn't think he could. He's done it several times. So they say we couldn't bring back Goedert and A.J. Brown. We've brought back Goedert for at least a year, took a pay cut coming off of a career year, which is crazy. Some say people don't want to come play with my quarterback, but we got multiple players taking pay cuts to stay. That's all I'm saying. Can't forget Devontae took a pay cut to stay. That's all I'm saying. Now DG, he take a pay cut to stay coming off a career year. I think that's very interesting. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, they say if we brought back Goedert, we couldn't bring back AJ. So we will see. I think if we draft the receiver in the first round, I think that tells us everything that we need to know about where we stand with AJ. I think that because we got a lot of other positions of need. We really haven't addressed safety. We just traded Sidney Brown. I'll get to that in a second, right? So we haven't really addressed safety. We have to do something about this offensive line. With Lane Johnson contemplating retirement, if not this year, maybe next or the year after that. We got to find his replacement very soon. So that stuff is in the air. We got some positions of need. So if we go receiver right away, that's AJ's out the building June 1st. We just know that. If we don't, then maybe he stays. I don't know. But I'm at the point where it's like, again, I don't want to keep somebody that don't want to be here. Now, if he come out and say he want to be here and he shows it on the field, I'm cool. But if not, I'm not trying to deal with controversy. I'm not trying to halfway through the season, the Eagles lose the game, and right before the trade deadline, are the Eagles going to trade AJ? Like, nobody trying to deal with that, bro. And one would say, hey, you willing to deal with it as long as the play is where it needs to be. But then I said that last year, and then come postseason time, the play wasn't where we needed it to be in order to advance. So that's just how I feel about the AJ thing. They say it's rumored that he put his house up for sale and all this other stuff. I don't know what to believe as far as that is concerned. I'm hearing that he didn't even have a house in Philly. So I really don't know. I'm just gonna say that. I really don't know. But what I do know for a fact is I don't want to keep somebody that don't want to be here. Shout out to my people in the comment section. My dog Ant, thank you for tuning in. Shout out Howie. Howie gonna be Howie. You know what I mean? And yes, that's another element to this, yo. I'm ready for Smitty to be receiver one. I don't know if y'all watched the flag football game. I know it was a flag football game, bro. I know everybody like, don't you dare guys up a flag football game. I get it. I understand, bro. But Smitty was getting money in the flag football game. That chemistry between him and Hurts, man, it's fun to watch, yo. And I'm a person who we saw how 2021 went with Hurts dishing to Devontae Smith, man. Devontae set the record for most receiving yards by a rookie in the Philadelphia Eagles jersey. And the trajectory was going to continue to rise no matter what. And I think that AJ coming to the team, while it helped us get to where we ultimately got, which was the Super Bowl that following year, and obviously in 2024, one could argue you kind of stopped that trajectory for a moment. You know what I mean? I want to see Smitty fully step into that role as receiver one. I really think in that role, him and Hurts will flourish, which is another reason why I'm ready to let him go. I'm ready to let AJ go, man. So yeah, Appreciate you for tuning in. I got you, Carl. I'll make sure I check it out. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my dog channel too, man. Carl Talking Sports or Carl Talking College. There it is. Everything college, that boy got y'all covered. He got y'all covered. Everything college, he got y'all covered. Football, basketball. It's March Madness right now too, so he dropping fresh content constantly. So y'all make sure y'all tune into that. You know what I mean? And in college, yeah, Heisman. And then, like I said, as receiver one, and the man set the record for the most receiving yards as a rookie in the Philadelphia Eagles jersey. Now, we did play him last game of the season to get that record. Shout out Nick Sirianni. He wanted him to have that record. But nevertheless, I mean, it happened. It happened. So, you know, it is what it is. But like I said before, I'm ready for I'm ready to step into that role. I'm ready for him to step into that space. Now, the Eagles news, man, some moves that we've made. Obviously, I just brought up, we already brought back Dallas Goedert on a 1-year deal. Fred Johnson, we brought him back on a 1-year deal. I think that was important. Again, you got to kind of keep that offensive line intact, and then you got to add to the offensive line this draft. You going like the way we looked this past season, yo, it was rough. Guys are getting older. Guys are banged up. I think that 2,000-yard season did more damage to that offensive line than we really know. In all honesty, if we call a spade, right? We talk all the time about the toll it takes on the running back, but we don't talk about the toll it takes on the offensive line. And I think we saw that this past season. So bringing back Fred Johnson was a big time thing to do. You also brought Marcus Epps back, and I think Marcus Epps is a slept-on safety for us. I can't speak to how he plays everywhere else, but for us, Marcus Epps plays big time. He a big-time hitter. He a big-time playmaker. He's not a guy that I've witnessed have a bunch of blown coverages. He's a vet. He knows what he's doing out there. So I didn't mind bringing him back at all. Brandon Mann, our punter, 4-year deal, $14 million extension. Big time extension. That also needed to be done. He had a great season last year. I know Jake. I don't know. Did Jake re-sign y'all? I think he did. I ain't got this in my notes. I think I seen something that say he's re-signing or they're intending to re-sign Jake. And I got nothing against Jake because Jake has made some big time kicks for us, man. But they start calling him Missy Elliott, and I don't know how you could recover. I don't know how you could recover from that. That's all I'm saying. That's a tough thing, a tough nickname to recover from. And he missed pivotal kicks all last season. Like it was tough to watch. So bringing back man to secure a part of your special teams was big. So not mad at that either. Now, receivers. You went out, you signed Elijah Moore. Okay, I guess he could be a cool depth piece. Some people are saying this was a AJ Brown thing, like, you know, you only brought him in to make AJ Brown happy. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not. I can't call it. I can't call it, but it's not a move that was a wow move for me. Obviously, you know, he's been okay in his career. He's been all right. He's not a guy that you're looking to come in and make massive impact, obviously, right away. Just a guy, I guess, just a depth piece. So that is what it is. I think the most exciting news that we've gotten outside of Dallas Goedert re-signing, I think the most exciting news so far has been Hollywood Brown. I think it's been Hollywood Brown. You bring Hollywood Brown in on the 1-year deal, and you're starting to see how this offense is going to kind of look this offseason, right? You're starting to see how this offense is this regular season, I should say. I think we looking to space that ball out, space the field out, you know what I mean? Have Jalen Hurts get the ball out of his hands quick and let your speedy receivers make things happen. You know what I mean? You bring in a guy like Hollywood Brown, who's a speedster, who can get downfield and make plays as a receiver 3, playing alongside Devontae Smith and potentially playing with AJ Brown or an AJ Brown replacement. He's another, like, I don't want to compare him to Quez Watkins because obviously he's better than Quez Watkins. He got more experience than Quez Watkins. But he kind of feels like that Quez Watkins kind of space, kind of void, where You got those two weapons on the opposite sides of the field, and you got that receiver 3 that could just kill you deep. And a guy that could catch the ball, not afraid to go over the middle and make plays. He has some big time drops down the stretch playing with Baltimore. But I like the fact that he chose us. He came out in the interview talking about how he wanted to come to Philadelphia. He wants to play with Jalen Hurts. He wanted to play with Jalen Hurts in Oklahoma, but it didn't work out. So it's nice to have him in the building. I think he's a slight upgrade from Jahan Dotson, because I think Jahan Dotson is more of a – I think Jahan, even though he can run, he's more of a possession receiver, more of a technician type of receiver, more of a route running receiver than he is a speedster. And I think with Hollywood Brown, he just gives us a more versatile, I could catch a screen and take it to the house. I could catch a slant and take it to the house. I could catch the deep ball and, just create space out there. Just create space, So I like the move. I like the veteran signing, honestly. Like I said, he chose to be here. And I'm not mad at it again, especially if AJ not going to be here. You're going to need some other guys that's going to take the attention off of Devontae Smith from time to time. You can't completely lock in on Smitty because you got Hollywood Brown sprinting down the middle of the field or down the sideline. You got to pay attention to that. You got to pay attention to that because we know Hurts, we know Hurts can hit him. So I like what I'm seeing. I like how I see the Eagles kind of trying to slowly build this thing. You see Howie Roseman, he not signing a bunch of 3-year, 4-year deals. Like Howie Roseman is positioning himself to, we just looking to compete this year, build things up in the draft, right? And then re-sign our own when it's time. Like, again, I keep saying this. At some point, Jalen Hurts is going to have to get an extension. Devontae Smith is going to have to get an extension. Jalen Carter's got to get paid. Quinyon Mitchell has to get paid. Cooper DeJean has to get paid, right? So these are guys that you have to keep. These are staples for your franchise that you got to keep in the building. So I'm sure Howie is looking at it like, how many guys can I bring in as depth pieces? How many guys can I bring in on 1-year deals that could come in and make an immediate impact for us this year, still within the Super Bowl window? Still within the Super Bowl window. How many guys can I just bring in, make plays for us this year? They fall off the books, and then I reset with my players and with my squad next year. I'm not mad at none of these moves so far. I'm really not. I'm really not. I like how he's moving. I like the approach. I like the fact that he's not dueling out a ton of money. He understands that there's a lot of different holes. Most of them you're going to have to fill in the draft. And some of this money you're going to have to save because you got to re-sign a lot of the players that's already in the building. These guys hit the open market. Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Carter, they gone. Unless they want to stay in Philly and they want to sign at a discount, they gone. So you want to make sure you get ahead of that market and sign guys as soon as possible, which leads me to Jalen Carter. I'm not sure why we haven't re-signed Jalen Carter yet. It's still early in the offseason, right? It's still very early. Negotiations are still ongoing. I'm sure this isn't going to be like a Dallas Cowboys situation where you franchise tag them. The Eagles don't. First of all, I think that time is past anyway, the franchise tag. But the Eagles don't franchise tag anyway, number one. And number two, we're not going to have you, I would hope, play on your final year of your deal and then you just become a free agent next season. So we still got time to do this, but Howie definitely needs to do this. Like I said, last episode, there was rumors and there was reports that maybe they trade him to Green Bay and trade him to the Rams and trade him. And I just, like I said, last episode, that's dumb. That's foolish. I don't even think that's a conversation to be had. He's a staple for this team. He's arguably the best player on our defense. I know Quinyon and Cooper DeJean are what they are, but this defense is what it is because of the trenches. And it's mainly because Jalen Carter holding it down. And so I want to see that deal done as soon as possible. I'm trusting that it's going to get done soon, but I want it done as soon as possible so we can get ahead of that, because the later we wait, the worse it gets. Also, Sean Mannion in the building, of course. Obviously, I think he has a lot to do with a lot of these moves that's being made. I think he wants a fast-paced offense. I think he wants a Sean McVay type of offense. I think that's why you see the moves for a Hollywood Brown and things of that nature. Like I said, to just get guys, have guys get out in space and just make plays. You're going to have playmakers. You got DG, you got Saquon, you got Hurts, you got Smitty. Now you got Hollywood Brown. Just get these guys out in space and allow these guys to make plays in the open field. Because now the player I just mentioned is easy to tackle in the open field. Not Smitty, not not Saquon, not Jalen Hurts, in all honesty, unless you're playing flag football and Jake Paul is chasing you, apparently. Not Hollywood Brown. Like, all of these guys are tough to tackle in open space. So I think Mannion is going to have guys playing in open space. And I like the fact that you got a glowing endorsement from Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson, two of your focal points, two of your staples on offense, your quarterback and your premier offensive lineman, saying like, yo, I'm excited. I think Saquon said something too. Like, I'm excited. Like, bro is special. Bro know what he doing. Bro know what he doing. So I think we got a lot of stuff to be excited about, man. I think we have a lot of stuff to be excited about. We traded Sidney Brown to the Atlanta Falcons. Kind of indifferent about the trade, in all honesty. Sidney Brown was the type of player that I had high hopes for coming out of Illinois. I thought he was going to be a big-time player for us, but we just never really seen his ceiling like that. Like, we saw him make a few plays here and there, right? But then he got hurt, and he came back, and he's a guy that can hit. That's one thing I give him. He plays at full speed all the time, and he can hit. He can tackle. He can make plays. But he didn't make enough, and he didn't make them often. And the fact that we brought in Marcus Epps last season because he couldn't fill in that role and be our starting safety, I think the writing was on the wall for him to be let go this offseason at some point. You know, we did also bring in JT Gray. This was an interesting signing because he kind of fills that void, at least on the special team side of the ball. Now, I will admit, I didn't know who bro was. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Here on AJ's Birds, I'm not going to sit up here in front like I be knowing who everyone is. In this case, I had no idea who JT Gray was. I had to do some research on bro, but apparently bro's a 3-time All-Pro on the special team side of the ball. I had no clue. They say in New Orleans he played 98 games. He had 93 special teams tackles, 2 block punts, and a fumble recovery. And then on defense, he contributed 14 more tackles, 2.5 sacks, a pass breakup, and a forced fumble. So apparently he can kind of do it all, but he's mainly known as being the ace on the special team side of things. And any help you can get on the special team side of the ball is help that you could use. It's help that you could use. We won the Rams game earlier last season, off special teams. Just the offense, Jay Hurts and AJ, they went crazy. But without block kicks in the second half of that game, we lose that game to the LA Rams. So special teams obviously is a big thing. Field position is obviously a big thing. And if you can get a guy that, you know, you re-sign your punter, you get a guy in the special teams that can really tackle guys inside the 5, inside the 10, that can force fumbles, that can make plays on that side of the ball. I think that's extremely important. Anytime you can make that type of move. And again, you have to replace a guy like Sidney Brown, who maybe wasn't the best at the safety position starting, but bro made plays as a special teamer. This also got me looking at Ringo a little funny because we know Ringo as a cornerback. Ringo ain't it, but as a special teams guy, Ringo got a lot of upside too. So I'm interested in seeing what we do with Ringo. But nevertheless, after looking into it, I like the JT Gray signing. And again, like I said before, another 1-year deal. How many guys could I bring in just contribute for a year? Give us a punch, give us some sauce for a year, and then you go off, you know, and you get paid. Same thing with Reek Woolen. Reek Woolen is a guy who I wanted to be here. I wanted us to sign him to at least a 2-3-year deal, but Howie again said, nah, I'm going to give you a year. You probably going to come over here. You probably going to outperform your contract. You probably going to get to a spot where we can't pay you, and then we got to let you walk after this season, but you going to give us that sauce yet again in the contract year. You're going to come over here hungry as a defending champ, bring some more experience to this secondary, bring more championship pedigree to this secondary, ball out, and then we got to make another move next year at DB2. Most likely after we re-sign again Quinyon Cooper DeJean. So, like I said before, y'all, I'm not mad at the moves at all. I like what we've been doing, and I trust Howie. I'm interested in seeing how this draft go. I'm interested in seeing if we make any more big time moves like that. I know we signed Dameon Pierce to a 1-year deal as well. I thought that was interesting because you already got like 3 running backs in the building. And Tate Bigsby should have been a guy that you used a lot more this past season that you didn't, and that's frustrating. So you add another back to the backfield. That one a little questionable to me. I don't know what he's bringing to the team. I don't know what his role is necessarily gonna be. But ultimately we'll see about that. But yeah, that's pretty much it on the front of signings and things we've done. Goddard, Fred Johnson, Marcus Epps, Brandon Mann, Hollywood Brown, Elijah Moore, Dameon Pierce. You traded Sidney Brown. You signed JT Gray. And that pretty much, besides the moves that we made prior to the most recent news, like I said, bringing in Reek Woolen, that's pretty much it on the Eagles front of what we've been doing so far and what it looks like we're looking to do. Like I said, I'm interested in seeing what happens on draft day, where we go in the first and second round. It's going to tell us a lot about A.J. Brown. It's going to tell us a lot about the direction of the team and the direction of the franchise, what we're looking to do, what we're looking to improve. But nevertheless, we've lost some pieces. And I want to give a shout out before I end the show. I do want to give a shout out to the pieces that we lost. I want to give a shout out to guys like Reed Blankenship and Kobe Dean and Phillips, because them guys didn't go to the ops. They didn't go to the ops. It was a lot of talk about them dudes going to Dallas. A lot of talk about them dudes going to the Commanders and the Giants. Oh, no. None of them dudes went to the ops, and that's respect. I wish them guys nothing but the best. Man, over there, with the Raiders and the Panthers. And hey, I wish y'all nothing but the best, nothing but happiness and success and y'all journeys going forward, man. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. I appreciate everybody for tuning in to AJ's Birds today. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a long episode. It's not a ton I want to get to you all today. Just wanted to give a shout out to my dog Slay, all of the guys that we signed, all of the news that I have here before me. And as things happen, as things drop, as things happen, y'all know I'm here to talk about it. I'll get to these comments before I wrap up the show. Woolen, like I said, Woolen go nuts. He definitely gonna go nuts for sure. Hollywood can be very inconsistent. He could be very inconsistent. That's why I say one or two things. Either you're not done at the receiver position and you're gonna add to the receiver position with your first or second round pick in the draft, maybe even the third, right? Because you're looking to trade A.J. Brown, or you're looking to keep A.J. Brown and he's literally just the third guy. And in some cases, he might be the fourth guy behind Dallas Goedert in the passing game, because Hurts love throwing the ball to Dallas Goedert. So it really just, the Hollywood Brown decision is a great move so long as you're not trying to make him like receiver 2. He's not receiver 2 at this point. He's going to have to be receiver 3. So either you're keeping AJ or you're drafting another receiver, because you ain't making Elijah Moore receiver 3 or receiver 2 neither. So something shaking at that position. Something going to have to shake at that position. And so we're going to see. But I do like the speed and the experience that he brings. I like the fact that you played in the winning in winning coaches. You played with Lamar Jackson. You played with Patrick Mahomes. You've played in winning organizations with winning teams, winning players. So you like that addition out of a receiver 3. Yes, he is better than Quez. Talk about big time drops. Quez? He better than Quez. He better than Quez, bro. He definitely better than Quez, man, for sure. But yeah, like I said, man, that's all I got for y'all on this week's episode of AJ's Birds. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, subscribe. I had to sign up for the check on Twitter, man. I didn't want to. I told myself for the longest of times I wasn't going to do the blue check, the verified check on Twitter. But it's the only way I could live stream on Twitter is if you got the blue check. So I went and got the blue check for my fellow Eagles fans, so I could come at y'all. Y'all can see me streaming on YouTube, and y'all can see me streaming on Twitter. So I had to go get the verification check. It is what it is, man. I got to get the news to the people when it's time to talk about birds. Again, like, subscribe, share. I'm going to be doing these shows sometimes during the games this year because I'm going to watch the games with y'all. So that's going to be a time. And if you know me personally, you know how I am during these games, man. It's a sight. So that's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a lot of that this year. And like I said, every piece of news that breaks, I'm going to be around we'll see what's happening around the draft day. I think Carl Talking College, I'll probably do some type of collab with him as far as the draft is concerned. You know, not only talking about the Eagles, but where everyone else falls and who everyone else is going to draft. That should be a lot of fun. But until next time, man, appreciate y'all for tuning into this week's episode. We're going to roll this intro one more time because I love it so much. And we're going to get up out of here. I'll catch y'all next time.